Let's return now to the rollout of the coronavirus vaccine. And joining me now from Birmingham is the Director for England at the Royal College of Nursing, Mike Adams. Mike Adams, really good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us today. Your reflections on today has been quite a day.
Yes, it's a historic day and a moment of hope at the end of a very long and fairly bleak year for the whole country, but, you know, a tough year for the nursing profession as a whole and the healthcare system that has been under huge pressure.
This is the largest vaccination rollout in the country's history. Some 800,000 doses were available in the UK at the start of the day. What can you tell us about the role that nurses will be playing moving forward? Presumably it's not just going to be about the inoculations.
No, well, the nursing profession is front and centre of you know, all major vaccination processes across the country every year, with flu vaccines, with childhood vaccinations, whether it's a general practice nurse, an occupational health nurse, school nurses. So nursing is used to being front and centre of vaccination programmes, and there will be with this one as well, as we saw this morning with that fantastic moment we saw with Nurse Parsons in Coventry delivering that first vaccine. So, yeah, it's something that the nursing profession is used to and is well prepared for. Alongside the role of the actual vaccination, nurses will be involved in educating anyone and supervising other people to deliver the vaccine, and also being responsible very much for the aftercare of people who've had the vaccine, making sure they're safe after they've initially had the vaccine. And, you know, will play a large part in educating the public in general around the process and the safety of the vaccine itself.
So messaging is so important right now. Each person that receives the vaccine will need 2 doses. So more nurses will very much be front and centre in getting that message across.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is an additional complication of this particular vaccine, that it's 2 doses. So, you know, logistically, it's a huge challenge for everyone involved. It's that bit, you know, that isn't just nurses, that's everyone across the whole healthcare system. But the role of the nurse will be very central to the education of people, explaining why it's so important they have that second dose, so that it ultimately is an effective vaccine and that we can get back to some sort of normality at some point next year.
So with all of that in mind, what challenges do you foresee? What should the priorities be for your colleagues right now?
Well, the challenges for nurses ultimately at this moment in time are challenges that we've highlighted over many years in terms of numbers of nurses and pressure on the healthcare system, not just in hospitals, but across the community setting as well. So we now have an additional huge piece of work on top of what is a pressurised system. But I have total confidence in the nursing profession and my peers and colleagues that this will be prioritised and this is something that has to be delivered. So logistically, it's a massive challenge. In terms of workload, it is additional workload, but obviously everyone is so aware of the importance of it that we will all be committed to delivering on it.
And in the past, you have raised concerns about there not being enough nurses to go around ahead of a very challenging winter, January, February, peak times when you have issues like flu, for example. Presumably, you know, those concerns still very much exist for you.
Oh, absolutely. I remember raising the issue of, for example, corridor nursing in emergency departments last winter. You know, that hasn't gone away, and we have seen a year of additional pressure on the health service this year. So, you know, we continually raise our concerns around nursing numbers and how we can do more, how we feel the government can do more to support nurses and value them and retain more, attract more into the profession. So those pressures haven't gone away. But again, as I say, this vaccination programme is so vital to everyone across the country, getting the economy back up and running, getting people supported in their roles wherever they are in society. That, you know, nurses will be totally committed in rolling this vaccine out.
Yeah, and on that final point, nurses being committed, I mean, how would you describe the mood amongst nursing staff right around the country?
Well, I think there's in terms of the vaccine, it is an exciting moment and it is a moment of hope. Absolutely, that after a really tough year, there is some light at the end of the tunnel here. But I think that it doesn't undo the fact that nurses this year and other healthcare workers have been under incredible pressure. I am concerned about the mental health of our nursing workforce, about some of the exhaustion levels and the amount of work and amount of hours of work that people have had to do this year. Frontline staff from healthcare assistant workers, newly qualified nurses, all the way through to our senior leaders across the system have been in intense pressure. And we shouldn't underestimate the emotional and physical burden that's having on our workforce.
Mike Adams, really good to get your thoughts. Very interesting talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.